Yeah, welcome to another Tuesday night blather live stream thing with the blathering boomer. Hope you all had a excellent Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving this year is a particular poignant one. 50 years ago today, unbeknownst to me, I was under indictment. I was uh, I was 2 days away from them dragging my ass away in handcuffs, and it happened on a Thursday back in 1975, and it happens that December 4th, 2025 also falls on a Thursday. It's kind of a double whammy. So I am planning on having a special show on December 4th where I'm going to go into detail about what happened 50 years ago. Suffice to say, 50 years ago today, I didn't know what was coming, and my life was completely out of control. Arguably, getting arrested saved my life because I'm not sure where all would have gone from there. But I'm not going to go into all that tonight. Tune in Thursday night. I'm going to go on early if I can because the arrest happened at 6:45 p.m. Eastern time. So if I can get out of work early enough, I'm trying to be on live at that hour. But I'll be on live sometime Thursday night with hopefully I'm recording a very special interview tomorrow on the topic, and hopefully I'll have some pretty good footage from that to present as well. But I'm thinking about Thanksgiving now from 20 years ago, something like that. You know, my sister was always the Thanksgiving house when I live in Fullerton. She lived in Valencia. I lived in West LA before that. So I would always go to my sister's Thanksgiving. In my divorce custody stuff, I got Thanksgiving with the kids. My ex got Christmas. So Thanksgiving was always kind of a special time, and the times at my sister's house were especially special. You know, really good family stuff. And then my sister moved to Arizona somewhere in the early 2000s, and we drove to Arizona. So instead of a 1 hour drive to Valencia, now it's a 6 hour drive to Phoenix. And this one Thanksgiving, I'm driving. You know, we went out there 6 hour drive. We left early in the morning, had dinner early, this and that. And when dinner was over, rather than deal with a hotel and all that, the kids and I said, let's just go home. So we get in the car. Oh, I don't know what time it was. Sometime after dinner, 6 o'clock, maybe 7 o'clock. Start driving back, thinking we'll be back by 1 o'clock in the morning. We're driving through the desert in between Phoenix and Southern California. We're actually in the Southern California desert. You know, we go past Desert Center, we go past Indio, and then all of a sudden we hit this traffic jam. Like I never in the middle of nowhere. This had to be a multi fatality accident. That's how bad the traffic was going westbound, coming out of nowhere, really, heading towards the city. Traffic finally starts moving at a crawl, and then, I could be as excruciating as I want. Just suffice to say, just imagine sitting in traffic, literally stuck. So, and then we finally get to this place, and everybody is getting off the same exit in the middle of, like, by Morongo Casino. I'm like, wow, everybody wants to go gambling in the middle of the night on Thanksgiving night. Like the entire population of the Southern California desert had to be there. They're all getting off at the same exit, and then we keep on. And so now we're past the traffic because everybody's getting off the exit. You know, there's no issue with that anymore. And now I see the traffic coming eastbound, and these are the people coming from the LA area, and they're all getting off at the same exit. I'm like, what the hell is this? I'm like, what in the world could be so attractive in the middle of, who could be playing a Morongo tonight? Like, did John Lennon come down from the heavens and team up with Mick Jagger and Pete Townsend for a special show at Morongo, and the entire world is descending upon this one exit in the middle of the desert? No, no, nothing like that. That was my first exposure to a modern day 21st century phenomenon known as Black Friday. And these people were heading to, it turns out that the Cabazon outlets have the same exact freeway exit as Morongo Casino. What? My God, they could have been giving away backpack fulls of $10 bills. I would not wait in a line like that. Black Friday, and of course it's worse and worse and worse and worse, worse and worse. It gets crazier and crazier every year. I think COVID might have slowed it down a little bit. Now a lot more happens online, but back then, wow, I had never seen a traffic jam like that in my life. And I went to the US Festival. Excuse me. A Diet Coke. I've been traveling, and it's a little bit hard to stay awake. So we had Thanksgiving. You got Black Friday the day after Thanksgiving, and then somewhere along the line they come up with this Cyber Monday. I don't care about Cyber Monday, whatever. And then I get this email yesterday, somebody wanting me to put some money into something for Giving Tuesday. Giving Tuesday? The fuck out of here. Giving Tuesday. I got you, Giving Tuesday. Forget about it. Giving Tuesday is nothing but a euphemism for a day of profiteering on the abundant commodity of people's collective unfounded guilt. So needless to say, I have neither participated in nor partaken of so-called Giving Tuesday. Forget about it. So, like I said, I was out in Ohio, and there's people there, really, really wonderful people, great musicians. We're talking about doing something for the community out there. That's a long story that I'm not going to get into right now. But there's people who I see there that subject to politics has come up, and people know where I stand politically, and most of them do not agree with me. And I've had it's such a luxury to have a political disagreement with somebody who talks respectfully. There's not enough of that in this day and age. There really, really isn't. And so some of the folks out there in Ohio subscribe to the Blathering Boomer. They do, and I'm honored by that. And I'll say, hey, I saw this show, I saw that show. Sorry, I haven't been keeping up with it. The point is, like I say, I got people I know in real life who disagree with me politically, fools that they are. I never know if they're tuning in or not. And you're supposed to read the room. You read the room, right? It occurs to me that when I'm blathercasting, it is impossible to read the room. I don't know, and it's not as if I don't speak my mind, but I might speak my mind a little less intensely if one of my friends with whom I have a respectful disagreement is watching. I might get a little bit savage, but if it's just us Blatherverse people, as opposed to some people in real life whose opinions I disagree with, but I actually care what they think. The difference. So that's the thing. That's the thing. It's impossible to read the room because I have no idea. Sure, I'll see JM from Jersey, I'll see Ellen from Brooklyn, I'll see Kamishwari Kate. I cherish the regulars who watch this, and the feedback I get and all that kind of stuff. But once I get more than 3 views, I have no idea who's out there. So, like I said, it's impossible to read the room. And tell you the truth, it's just slightly creepy, and it's especially creepy given the comments I've been getting for the past couple of days on this short that I clipped from a previous Blather stream. So here's what happened. Here's the background story. Let me take another sip of this Diet Coke. Okay, keep me going. That is not product placement, by the way. So I talked about this on the last Blathercast. Somebody I know, and we've been political allies for a long time. But as the topic of Israel comes up, our disagreement, our differences become rather abundant. And, we kind of just finally agreed to disagree on Israel. He thinks that Israel fired Israel started the 1967 war. I beg to differ. He thinks that 1948 was the Nakba, and I beg to differ. So there's all this, where I am and where he is. So we kind of had a truce. We'll talk about election integrity. We'll talk about Tulsi Gabbard. We'll talk about woke people. We'll talk. We've actually collaborated on a song or two. So, but then out of the blue, he sends me this Nick Fuentes video. Now I'm going to get to who Nick Fuentes is as we go along here, and so yeah, please bear with me. I'm going to get to that, but suffice to say, Nick Fuentes. Well, I guess if you were to Google Nick Fuentes, let me see what comes up, because I actually did that recently. Nicholas Joseph Fuentes is an American white nationalist, political commentator, activist, and live streamer who has hosted America First with Nicholas J. Fuentes since 2017. On his live stream show, he promotes Christian nationalism, white supremacy, misogyny, anti-LGBTQ rhetoric, and anti-Semitism, including Holocaust denial. His supporters are known as gripers. So that's who Nick Fuentes is, and I was very curious why this friend of mine would send me a Nick Fuentes video. It was entitled, "Barry Weiss is an Israeli Spy." Now, it's possible that because he and I have shared contempt for Barry Weiss ever since she went on Joe Rogan and slandered Tulsi Gabbard. We didn't like that at all back in 2019. She called her an Assad toady because Tulsi had the nerve to actually interview Assad, and then couldn't tell Joe Rogan what toady meant. It was an embarrassing moment for Barry Weiss. I've never been a fan of hers, but she's clearly pro-Israel. So Nick Fuentes does this video. Barry Weiss is an Israeli spy, and my friend, whose name I'm purposely not mentioning, because I'm still trying to give him the benefit of the doubt on this. He sends me that, and I'm wondering, is he sending this to me because Nick Fuentes is absurd, and he's sending it to me to show me an example of ridiculosity? Is he sending it to me because Barry Weiss being the topic of the video, he thought maybe I'd like it? Or, much more creepily, is he sending it to me because he actually agrees with the views purported? Is that the word, purported? I don't know. I can't blame Barry Weiss for not knowing toady if I don't know what purported means. Anyway, espoused. That the views espoused by Nick Fuentes are things he resonates with. So I talked about it on the last podcast a few weeks ago, but before that, he sent that to me on October 6th. So my response immediately was, why are you sending me a Nick Fuentes video? Just a very vanilla question. Gets ignored. He sends me a bunch of other clips. I once again said, I'm still curious. Why'd you send me a Nick Fuentes video? Crickets. He sends me a bunch more, including one that was very, very anti-Israel that he took down, which is weird. It kind of disappeared from my ugly, nasty guy 714 direct messages on Twitter. And by the way, if you do want to reach out to me directly, that is how to do it. UNG 714, ugly, nasty guy 714. So I've asked the question twice. Why did he send it? And I don't have an answer, but I'm getting all this other rhetoric, election integrity things, and so most of it's agreeable. But again, it's kind of I can't shake the why did he send me a Nick Fuentes video? So I went in and I made a 45-second clip of me lamenting or not ruminating over. Excuse me. I had Diet Coke. I either get the hiccups or I burp when I drink soda. Forget about it. So I posted this clip, and let me run it. Well, when he has Nick Fuentes on, He's asking all these softball questions. It might have been like Rachel Maddow interviewing Kamala Harris. Okay, so right there, I'm talking about Tucker Carlson because that's been a big controversy on the right. Tucker Carlson had Nick Fuentes on his show and basically gave him the coddling treatment, and he drew a lot of fire from other conservative commentators because of that. Basically, splintering the conservative movement in this country in a big way. And as far as I know, that hasn't healed yet. Anyway, so let me start over. So the person I'm talking about right there is Tucker Carlson, but let's start over. Has Nick Fuentes on. He's asking all these softball questions. It might have been like Rachel Maddow interviewing Kamala Harris. No challenge, no follow-up, no nothing. He gave this mealy-mouthed, absurd, and platforming this guy. I'm sure Nick Fuentes has gained a lot of followers. Somebody that I was close with in the Tulsi movement sent me a Nick Fuentes video in a direct message on Twitter. I've asked him a couple of times, why are you sending me that? I'm trying not to prejudge, but there's a possibility that he sent it because it's what he believes, and that's really, really scary. So that's the setup. That's the setup. So I posted that clip while I was in Ohio. I created that clip and posted it while I was in Ohio, like 4 or 5 days ago, maybe. And my intention was, since I've asked him the question, and typed the question in the direct message a couple of times, maybe if I send him a video and show that on the Blathercast, I'm still wondering why he sent me a Nick Fuentes video, that maybe I'll get a response because I want to give him the benefit of the doubt. I'm trying not to prejudge. Well, boy, did I have a surprise in store for me. He didn't get back to me, but a whole bunch of people did. And this is kind of shocking because I've gotten toasted from the left over and over again, starting with when I refused to vote for Hillary in 2016 and refused to support Biden in 2020. And I started doing a lot of Dem exit type of videos and defended Dr. Seuss from the woke people canceling some of his books. But anyway, it's been a rough ride. But this guy, I didn't want to prejudge. So, like I say, I'm used to getting a lot of and the comments I would get from woke people on the left. And I hate to define things. I hate to say left, right, left, liberal, conservative. I don't believe in labels. I don't believe in isms. But just for the purpose of this conversation, I need to define my terms. So left is, you have the people demonstrating against ICE. You have the people, unfortunately, a lot of them demonstrating pro-Hamas. You have the trans movement, and I'm not commenting on it. This and on the right, you have the anti-woke people. You have you have the America First, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm used to being, when most of the people in my life are left leaning, and I'm used to walking into rooms where conversations are happening and having them go, there he is, stop. I'm used to that from the left. What I'm not used to is getting it from the right. So that video that I just showed, I got to talk about the comments that I got on that video. Ay. So, by the way, you see this one like? I got like 21 dislikes. I'm used to getting the one dislike from one of the people in Northern California. It's got to be the Adam, Dave, or Ron. Just basically dislikes every video I do. It's fine. I've had arguments with all three of them politically. We don't talk to each other anymore. And I guess one of them has taken it upon himself to post a dislike. Hey, you know what? That's fine. I'm glad I'm still glad you're still watching. But in this case, I got more than I bargained for. So are we seeing this? Yeah. So let me go back to it. So this gets, and from the Blathercast, I get a couple of dozen views, but this gets 477 views because YouTube, when you have something less than a minute, it goes into an algorithm sometime. So I get 22 comments. So all of a sudden, yesterday morning, I'm getting ready for work, and I log into YouTube, and I see I have like full comments. Every one of these is hateful. So check out the schnoz on this guy. Hey, that's fine, whatever. Then this guy, Chicago Mike, I think he's a little bit obsessed with this whole thing. These boomers sold out the entire country. By the way, Chicago Mike, first of all, Chicago Mike, you come from a city that thinks it knows what pizza is and doesn't, so stop, sit down. But that aside, boomers sold out the entire country. If not for us boomers, your ass would have been in Iraq holding a gun. So shut your pie hole right there. Sad part is you can't even explain to us why you don't like or agree with Nick. This is crazy. Okay, I can accept that comment. And then he says, absurd, platforming him? What are you upset about? What exactly did he say that's got you so upset? And yes, you did already prejudge. Well, no, I didn't prejudge. The whole purpose of that video is because I would like it explained to me why that video, why the Fuentes video was sent to me. So I'm trying not to prejudge. I'm doing the opposite. But of all these comments, and let me time to wake up. One guy, you are Jewish. Well, that mask is off. QWERTY909, whoever the hell you are. Nothing Burger Console Trolley video. Your boomer views have been buried. Zionists are the new Nazis. I mean, pathetic boomer. Why is this old man up past his bedtime? Somebody change his diaper. Every single comment is negative. So this is me experiencing hatred from the right, which I'm not used to. And JM from Jersey, you are right. Chicago ain't pizza. It is a glorified lasagna. You can't pick it up and fold it. It is not pizza. Stop, Chicago. Period. No, it is not pizza. So I got all, like I said, I got all this hate. It's crazy. I don't get it. And so this guy who took it upon himself to comment 4 different times, this Chicago Mike 85. I want to answer his question. He says, sad part is you can't explain to us why you don't like or agree with Nick. Well, maybe this will explain why I don't exactly agree with Mr. Nick Fuentes.
So without further ado, let's get into this wackadoo.
One, look, I'm not obsessed with Hitler. I really don't even know that much about him. Buddy, it's Führer Friday. It is Hitler Friday.
What?
Shut up.
What?
It is Heil Hitler Friday, nigga.
Oh,
Heil Hitler. All my niggas, Nazis, nigga.
Oh, what the
And why would I not agree with this guy?
hell?
Hitler was a pedophile and kind of a pagan. It's like, well, he was also really fucking cool. So,
What makes him cool?
Time to grow up. We're not children anymore. Am I right? Am I right? Am I right, boys?
What?
Am I right? Let's go. He was also really fucking cool. And any boy knows that. Anybody that watches these videos where he's rolling down the street and stuff, it's like, this guy's awesome. This guy's cool.
Just American general.
And this guy's batshit crazy. I mean, bird soup, out of his mind. But he has over 1 million followers. And not just followers, he has people like rabid dogs attacking somebody. I didn't even say that much about him in the video, really. Anyway, let's keep going with this asshole.
General.
Hitler. Oh, American.
Wiggly sent $10. Up pointing finger.
What?
If we're going to say Hitler bad, then I'm going to say Churchill bad, and I'm going to say Roosevelt bad, and I'm going to say they're all bad. But if we look at him as a product of his time in that moment, we have to judge him with those things in mind.
Hitler was an incredibly ambitious, aggressive risk taker. Given your qualifications, would you thereby say that Hitler is a good leader?
It's indisputable he is. Indisputably. You could even say he's evil. He made Germany great again. Second semester, I got home in the spring and I was like, Mom, Dad, Hitler was awesome. Hitler was right. And the Holocaust did.
Okay, that's enough. Clean out your ears, clean out your eyes. So, Chicago Mike, maybe now you know why I don't really agree with Mr. Nick Fuentes. And if you do, I'd like to hear why. Chicago Mike, if you're trolling here, obviously you trolled my other video. If you're trolling here, go ahead and send me a direct message, UNG714, Ugly Nasty Guy 714. I'd love to hear your Nazi views. Not, but yeah, hey, I'll engage with anybody. It's fine. So it's kind of a game changer for me. What this whole online thing is, and I appreciate the engagement. I like getting 477 views, but it scares the hell out of me how many Chicago mics are out there, and some of these other comments. You are Jewish. What in the world does that have to do with anything? Because in the video I posted, I didn't say anything about Fuentes' anti-Semitism, which is rather blatant if you follow him at all. And you know what? I purposely posted that woman's video. I don't know what podcast she is, but I didn't want to give Nick Fuentes a click. I don't want to give him any engagements. I don't want to do anything to have. The guy's getting rich off of saying absurd things. I mean, I guess him and Candace Owens are probably laughing all the way to the bank with wild, ridiculous crap. Candace Owens with her how the Jews killed Charlie Kirk under the orders of the French government or something like that. I used to listen to her. I never listened to Fuentes, but I used to listen to Candace Owens, and she's lost her mind too. So there's a big rift in the right, and it's kind of a shame because the Democrats are probably sitting back laughing right now. And again, I've been hoping the Democrats would actually come up with a sensible candidate, but they're probably thinking the right's so splintered right now, they can run any idiot they want. A lot of stuff happened in the last couple of weeks. The Somali aid in Minnesota scandal. We had those 6 representatives doing their choral reading from the script. As soon as somebody starts talking and somebody else continues the sentence, another person continues the sentence, and you have this ba 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 that they're all. We used to do that shit in 4th grade. Take turns reading something out loud. So as soon as that happened, I knew this was trouble. And so now they're calling them the Sedition 6, talking about ignoring illegal orders from the president. I'm kind of going into a purview that isn't mine because I've been in Ohio for the last couple of weeks, and I haven't been paying all that much attention to politics. What I'm talking about now is stuff I read on Twitter as I was flying back on the plane. And speaking of Twitter, I am canceling my $84 a year blue check that expires on January 20th because, and this is not me whining. Some people could take it that way. I'm sure that Chicago Mike will think I'm whining. I'm not getting an engagement on Twitter, so I canceled my blue check. But I'm going to save that $84. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do with the $84, but I can tell you for certain what I'm not going to do. I'm not going to pay a penny to any of this so-called Giving Tuesday nonsense. So a happy Tuesday to you all. Happy Giving Tuesdays. Save your money. Do something better with it. And you know what? Send me an email. Tell me what a better thing to do with $84 would be than to throw my money into the Giving Tuesday black hole. UNG714, Ugly Nasty Guy 714. Thank you so much for watching. The Boomer has blathered. And Thursday night, I'm going to have a special edition on the 50th anniversary of my arrest. I do that not to celebrate. I do that because if I don't tell the story, my incarceration was a waste. I'm just another asshole who went to prison at age 22. Age 21. I turned 22 in prison, but I didn't turn 21 in prison. I turned 22 in prison. Long story. You'll hear it. I'm going to post it Thursday. I'm going to live stream it. I'm not sure what I'm going to do, but over the next few days, you'll hear the full story. And as I've said before, like so many things in life, all this happened because of a hot tuna concert. Have a great night and happy Thanksgiving to everybody.